What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 60, and we start today's episode off with a game against Norwich City here away at Carrow Road in the Premier League. And of course, this game comes on the back of a very disappointing 1-0 defeat to Sporting on Thursday night at the Hawthorns, which saw us leave the Europa League in the semi-final stages, which was absolutely gutting. So coming into this game, as we took on Norwich, you can see we're in 10th place with 5 games left in the season. They're in 19th, and they've only got 4 games left of their season, and as things stand, they are most likely going down with Aston Villa as well, who we played in our last league game and beat them by 2-1. So as we take on Norwich, another relegation threatened side, the mood was really subdued, because even though, we do want to play for pride and play for points and, keep the dream alive of qualifying for the top 4, even a top 5, top 6 finish, which would be great for us, the mood was still subdued. And as you can see by the team I picked, I made 10 changes to the side that played on Thursday night. So, chances for James Wilson on loan from United, who's been poor in the games I've played him, and Craig Dawson and Will Hughes coming in as well to get a game and see what they can do in this game. And Ben Foster, our captain, being the only player that started this game, the goalkeeper, because he was fine, but all the players were tired. They were mentally and physically drained really after Thursday night. So as we took on Norwich, I really wasn't expecting much, and even a draw, even a loss in this game would be understandable after the disappointment of Thursday night. But regardless, I still wanted a performance. Regardless of the result, I still wanted a good performance. But it was Norwich in the first few minutes creating the early chances, a good save by Foster, and then that shot going just wide of the post after a set piece routine kept the score at 0-0. But we had our chances ourselves. In the 16th minute, James Wilson gets on the ball, turns Sebastian Bassong, gets himself inside and eventually shoots, but it's a very good save by John Ruddy, and a follow-up shot by Wilson goes straight into his glove. So it's still 0-0, but some good early chances for both sides. But really it was the relegation threatened side, Norwich, who were dictating the chances. And as Johnny Howson finds his man in the box here, he plays it through towards Nathan Redmond, and if it wasn't for a great save by Ben Foster, it would have been 1-0 to the home side. So still 0-0. Wellington Silva took this free kick here, which went just wide the post, wide of John Ruddy's post on the stroke of half time, and it was still scoreless at half time. And in the 51st minute, you see Will Hughes wins the ball back here with a great challenge, sets up a counter attack as he gives it to Gamboa, then to Hughes. Brilliant ball by Will Hughes into James Wilson, who turns Carlos Cuellar and shoots, but Ruddy doesn't even need to dive or anything. The shot just hits his toes and goes behind for a corner. So still scoreless here as we went into the hour mark, and I just couldn't seem to break down Norwich. They were playing very good defensive football and getting chances themselves, but eventually we did get inside with Danny Ings twisting and turning, and Bassong taking down Ings from behind as the last man, and no surprise that the referee gives Sebastian Bassong a straight red card. So definite penalty, definite red card. And I said in the last episode as well, Danny Ings, he doesn't play too many games, but he's such a reliable striker. He gets inside on so many occasions. He does there, and Bassong just couldn't cope with his pace and agility, and it was a definite penalty and definite red card as well. So penalty to West Brom, and as you can see, Gary Hooper had to get replaced for Michael Turner after that because Norwich were down to 10 men and needed a bit more defensive stability. But there was nothing Michael Turner could do about the penalty. It was all on John Ruddy. He had to stop Wellington Silva, who I let take the penalty for this game, because I thought his penalty stat wasn't too bad, and obviously Silva has scored a couple of goals this season. So Silva against John Ruddy, and Silva does score. He sends, the goalkeeper does go the right way, but he doesn't save it. And I've said a couple of times this season, penalties seem really easy to score in this year's FIFA. Do you agree? I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Actually, why don't you let me know in the comments? Do you guys find that penalties are easy to score this year? Let me know that in the comments, because I seem to think penalties are really easy to score, even when the goalkeeper dives the right way. 9 times out of 10 it goes in. So let me know in the comments, are you guys finding penalties easy to score this year, or a lot easier to score? For me, they seem ridiculously easy, and this is coming from a guy who used to miss half the penalties they took. So anyway, Norwich 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Wellington Silva scoring from the spot. Bradley Johnson almost scored the equaliser 8 minutes from time, but his header hit the bar, and the game did finish Norwich 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. So very pleased to get the victory there, even with 10 changes made to the lineup. And of course, a penalty, which is a definite penalty, and a red card as well. Nothing that Norwich could really complain about, to be honest, and a good defensive display as well. Foster made a couple of good saves. The marking was good on most occasions. They did get inside a few times, Norwich, but a clean sheet is always nice, because that's something I've struggled to get of late, but well, struggled to get since the start of the series really. But anyway, here is a Youth Squad monthly report. As you can see, you can take a look at our players there who are doing okay. Billy Rao and Ashley Bentley looked like two very decent players. Josh Franks and Billy Akinfenwa look meh, but two decent players out of the four there, so I'm pleased with those players in our academy, and I will look to promote those guys at the start of next season. And who knows, they could become very, very good players for us in this series in the future. But with the other scout reports, you can see I rejected pretty much all of those because they just weren't good enough for us. And Denmark and Sweden rescinded their offers to manage their nation. And I was like, okay, I didn't really bother, just even rejecting their offers. I just let it rescind because I wasn't interested. We got 1 month left to think about the USA job, and of course we will take it if a big nation doesn't come in, but even so, we'll have to wait and see, or maybe I won't, to be honest. I don't really know, to be honest. When it comes down to international management, I do like the idea of a project, but with the USA, as you guys have seen, I haven't really bothered, to be honest. It's not something which I'm that fussed about. It's good to know I've got scout reports on the players before I even need to look at them, so players like, for example, Julian Green, who's on loan right now, I knew what his stats were before we even loaned him. Obviously, there's another American player I'm looking at for next year, and the possibility of DeAndre Yedlin, the Spurs right back. But really, other than getting scout reports, other than not needing scout reports on players, managing that nation doesn't really do much for us. But anyway, here's a squad report, the penultimate one of the season. A reminder for those that ask: squad reports are shown at the start of every single in-game calendar month. Players looking good. Obviously, a few decreases here and there. Chris Brunt going down, Jolien Lescott going down, Brown days physicals going down. We expected out of him being injured, but for the most part, some good progression in a lot of players in there. Obviously, I'm still ridiculously annoyed about players like Nastasic, who have played almost every game that we've played with West Bromwich Albion, who hasn't increased in a single stat. I mean, I just don't understand that. Will Hughes, despite coming back from his loan spell, hasn't grown. Jordan DeVito hasn't grown. Players like that really, really frustrating me. But Savannier's gone up by 3 in his debut season, which is great. You got Niang going up by 2 as well, and Ichibi's gone up by 1 or 2. So, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. The squad's improved in patches here and there, but even so, it's still very frustrating, particularly those young players who have had a lot of exposure. When you think about the amount of games that Nastasic in particular has played over these 2 years, and he hasn't been bad or anything, it's just surprising to know he hasn't grown a single stat. Not even a rating, but a single stat hasn't grown. But anyway, as you can see, we come into the next game against Manchester City for the second and final one of today's episode. City currently sitting in 4th place. As you would have seen by the league table, it is so tight at the top, man. Seriously, on the final day, depending on circumstances, there could be 4 teams going for the title. That would be absolutely crazy, but it's very, very tight at the top, and even between the positions from 5th to 10th, where we are right now, it's still really, really tight, and anyone can get into that sort of 5th to 10th place positions. Anyone can finish in any of those positions. It's really, really tight, and it's great to see. But anyway, the first chance of this game fell in the 6th minute here as Berahino found Jordan Henderson. Great little ball forward towards Mbai Niang, who takes on Bakary Sanya, beats him, cuts past Vincent Kompany and shoots, but if it wasn't for a great save by Willy Caballero, he would have scored a fantastic solo goal, but it was eventually cleared away, and it was still scoreless. But in the 8th minute, Savanier swings in this cross towards Berahino, and he hits the top of the bar of his header, and it goes out for a goal kick. So early chances coming to West Bromwich Albion, exactly what you like to see. And in the 36th minute, Carl Jenkinson wins us the ball back here and gives it to Patrick Roberts. Inside to Berahino, great little ball into Niang, who takes on Vincent Kompany, beats him with the Ronaldo chop, cuts inside and shoots, but again Caballero makes a very good save to deny the French winger turned striker, and it's still 0-0. Another great chance for us in the 50th minute though, as City really didn't get going in this game at all, whereas we were looking threatening. Berahino holds the ball up and gives it to Niang, down the left hand side, takes on Vincent Kompany, beats him with a reverse step over into a roulette, then a fake shot, not a fake shot, sorry, just stops the ball and cuts inside, and Kompany has no choice but to take down Niang, and it's a penalty to West Bromwich Albion. And just like the Danny Ings penalty which he won in the last game against Norwich, it was a case of teasing the defender and then cutting inside, and that's what Niang did there. A couple of skill moves and then cuts inside onto his right foot, and Kompany lunges and gives away a penalty. So penalty to West Bromwich Albion. Love how easy the AI defenders go to ground on this year's FIFA. Last year they never went to ground at all and barely ever put in slide challenges. Now they go to ground quite a lot, but still penalty to West Bromwich Albion, and it is going to be Niang, our top scorer, to take it against Willy Caballero. And again, the goalkeeper dives the right way, but the goal goes in. And don't get me wrong, the majority of penalties in real life are scored. Yes, that's true, but it's still kind of surprising to see how many times the goalkeeper will go the right way but won't even get a touch on it. And it's just, penalties just seem so easy to score this year. And of course, I'm not complaining when it goes in for us, but it still seems a bit too easy in my opinion. But anyway, Niang scores and makes it West Bromwich Albion 1, Manchester City 0. So Caballero, who had denied Niang on a couple of occasions before in this game, doesn't deny him this time, and he gets his 18th goal in the Barclays Premier League this season, as our French player is looking on course for the Golden Boot. So West Brom 1, City 0. Foster makes a very good save here to deny Cavani, I think it was, to keep it at 1-0. And in the 74th minute, Manchester City had a free kick here as they finally came to life after we scored our goal. Before that, they weren't doing anything. I had a 7-man wall built up here to try and deny Yaya Toure from the free kick. He strikes it, he does find space, but Ben Foster tips the ball over the bar and it goes out for a corner. So still 1-0 as things stood, but City were pressing and doing everything they could to look for an equaliser. Losing this game for Pellegrini's men was pretty much unacceptable. Cavani hit the bar late on as well, as we just about got the ball away. And in the 90th minute, the last chance would fall to City as they came through here with Yaya Toure. Toure eventually finds space before releasing Cavani. Cavani then collects and finds Fernandinho. We're just putting bodies behind the space between where City have the ball and the goal, because we don't want them to get a shot away because they'll probably score. Eventually though, they do work their way inside and Cavani does strike it, but Ben Foster makes the save and we get the ball away. And the final chance would fall in the 95th minute, so the 5th minute of added time. Sergio Aguero on the ball, back heels to Fernandinho, back into Aguero, but the Argentine shot goes wide into the side netting and the referee blows for full time. So we get the win by a goal to nil. A very, very, very good victory there, and I'm very pleased with it because, we lost to City 4-1 in our third game of the season this year. That's a very, very good response as we win by a goal to nil. But as always, guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.